Does your English flow? Well, in today's video, I have 35 linking words and phrases that you can use today to sound more natural in English. If you would like to sound more fluent, or if you are trying to pass the TOEFL, IELTS or TOEIC exam, then this video is definitely for you. Hi, welcome back. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kirsty. I teach English in France and I'm here once a week to help you improve your English. Today, my friends, we are going to see how to use connectors and linking words to start conversations effortlessly, add more details to your sentences, show contrast between ideas, give examples with clarity, organize your thoughts, and express opinions with confidence. Let's begin with some great connectors for starting conversations and linking ideas. All right, is a very casual way to start speaking or transition to a new topic. All right, let's talk about how to improve fluency. Guess what? Is a great phrase to grab attention before sharing news or facts. Guess what? I applied for a new job in England. Speaking of, use this when connecting to something previously mentioned in a conversation. For example, speaking of learning, I have started a new online English class. So imagine I'm in a conversation with a friend, and the friend tells me that they have started learning how to play the guitar. I could then add, speaking of learning, I have started a new online English class. Mind you, helps to add extra information or clarification. The test was difficult. Mind you, I didn't prepare much. That being said, is used to transition into an opposing or additional point. I enjoy studying grammar. That being said, too much focus on it can slow down fluency. At the end of the day, is used to emphasize the most important fact after considering everything. At the end of the day, the best way to learn English is to study daily. Now let's look at some useful connectors for adding details to your sentences. Besides, is a great way to introduce extra points. For example, I enjoy watching movies in English. Besides, it helps improve my listening skills. What's more, can be used to emphasize additional information. Learning English is useful. What's more, it opens up many job opportunities. It's true. Not to mention, is a way to introduce an extra relevant fact. He's a great teacher, not to mention very patient with beginners. Let alone, is used to emphasize how difficult or unlikely something is. I struggle with writing in English, let alone giving a speech. Furthermore, is a formal way to add to a previous point. Vocabulary is important. Furthermore, pronunciation makes a big difference. Let's explore some connectors to highlight contrasts or opposing ideas. Even though, shows contrast between two ideas. Even though I was nervous, I spoke in English at the meeting. Conversely, is a formal way to introduce an opposite idea. Many people prefer casual conversations. Conversely, I enjoy formal discussions. Despite, is used to contrast an idea. Despite the cold weather, we went for a walk. So we understand here that the weather was bad, but we still went for a walk. Otherwise, is used to show the consequence of not following a condition. Practice speaking English daily, otherwise fluency will take longer. Still, introduces a contrasting idea while acknowledging the first idea. It was a tough challenge. Still, I kept trying. Now let's explore connectors to help you provide examples. Namely, is used to specify examples clearly. I enjoy watching language learning YouTube channels, namely those focused on pronunciation. Here you could also say specifically those focused on pronunciation. Let's say can be used to introduce a hypothetical question. Let's say you only have 3 weeks to study for your English exam. What would you focus on? Take, for instance, helps to introduce an example. Many countries have different English accents. Take Australia, for instance. To illustrate is a formal phrase to introduce an example. To illustrate this point, let's compare American and British English. This connector is quite formal and it's probably used more in a written context. You can use it in a spoken context, however, if you are giving an academic speech or a corporate speech or presentation, for example. When sharing a story or explaining steps, these connectors are very helpful. To begin with is a good phrase to start a list of points. To begin with, set small and realistic language goals. Subsequently is a formal word meaning afterwards. I started learning vocabulary first. Subsequently, I worked on my pronunciation. Beforehand is used when describing something done earlier. Beforehand, I made a list of common phrases to practice. In the meantime refers to something happening at the same time as something else. I'm waiting for my class to start. In the meantime, I'm reviewing vocabulary. Now, here are some connectors to express opinions effectively. I believe is a great way to state your thoughts. I believe shadowing daily is the best way to learn a language. From my perspective is a more formal way to share personal opinions. From my perspective, listening is the hardest skill to improve. If you ask me, this is a casual way to share an opinion. If you ask me, shadowing is the fastest way to learn. To my mind, is a more formal way to express opinions. To my mind, pronunciation is just as important as grammar. The way I see it adds a personal touch to an opinion. The way I see it, learning a language should be enjoyable. And finally, here are 5 more bonus connectors to really elevate your English. Needless to say is used when something is obvious. Needless to say, practice is essential for English fluency. As a result, shows the effect of something. He practiced daily. As a result, his speaking skills improved. In short, summarizes a point concisely. In short, consistency is key to mastering a language. On the contrary, is used to oppose a previous statement. Let me give you an example. Something grammar is boring. On the contrary, I find it fascinating. Here you could just say, something grammar is boring, I find it fascinating. But by adding on the contrary, not only do you add clarification, but it's like saying, not at all, I find it fascinating. To put it simply, is a way to explain something in an easier manner. To put it simply, you need to listen and speak as much as possible. Now, how can you apply what you've learned today? Here's the challenge. Pick a few connector words or phrases from each category in this video. Practice using them in your English conversation and/or writing this week. If you want to make some example sentences, you can leave them below in the comments for me to look at. Try replacing basic connectors you currently use with more advanced ones from this video. Let me know in the comments below which connectors you already use and which ones you are now going to use more. Also, if you just want to say, hi, Kirsty, I would love to hear from you. I always answer my comments personally. If this video has helped you, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps. And if you want to keep learning today, then check out my next video. I'll see you there. Bye for now.